Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Bae Watch. I'm some dumb American, and I am here with my lovely co-host, Mara Jane.
Hey everyone, today we're going to cover everything from models being kidnapped to North Korea.
And then afterwards, we're going to have a discussion about same-sex marriage because same-sex marriage is possibly going to become a thing in Australia. And if you're in America, you might be shocked that liberal Australia is doing same-sex marriage after we are, but we're going to tell you guys all about that, and we're going to discuss it after we go over the news.
Excellent. And then if you want to support the show, you can use the $ in the bottom left-hand corner of the chat box to donate and be a part of the conversation, or you can purchase t-shirts and mugs from our Bae Watch Teespring store, which you can find in the description.
Be sure you subscribe to the Bae Watch channel and follow Bae Watch on Twitter. This video will stay up here for about 24 hours, and then it will be archived on the Bae Watch channel. Of course, once we have 1,000 subscribers on the Bae Watch channel, we will do our live shows there. So,
Yes.
the first order of business is we need to go over the situation in Charlottesville. So,
I just woke up and saw it, so I don't really know much other than there's tiki torches involved.
Right, there are tiki torches involved. So I'm just looking at Twitter because this is such a developing story and everything is happening like as we speak. So it started last night. Some white nationalists decided to get together and protest Charlottesville taking down a statue of Robert E. Lee. And counter-protesters showed up and it turned violent.
Yeah, who's the statue of?
Robert E. Lee, which was the general in the Civil War for the Confederacy. And I would say that I am not in favor of them taking down a statue of Robert E. Lee for a couple of reasons. First of all, I don't agree with trying to erase history. But secondly, Civil War aside.
It wasn't just the we won our slaves war that it's painted as, hey.
No, and the other thing that Monkey has brought up a couple of times when the Civil War comes up is that the South was willing to give up the slaves anyway just to be recognized as a country by other countries in Europe like the UK. So there's that. But the thing about Robert E. Lee is that he was, as a general, he was an absolute genius. So he's a very important part of military history, so I disagree with taking the statue down. Now, when counter-protesters showed up, people started clashing. We don't even know who started it, and in my opinion, it was probably...
I think we can guess who started it, because they seem to start the violence at every single event.
I don't want to say that, but I think it was probably... I'm going to go with, I think it was mutual. I think it was probably... both sides arguing and blowing up.
Yeah. If this protest is anything like a lot of the free speech protests, which I know it's not specifically a free speech one, regardless, they do make a conscientious effort to not throw the first punch.
Yeah. And
people don't respond, and then the other side, the people that are protesting the protesters or whatever, are the ones that generally punch first.
We think people are saying that either side started it. I don't know, and I'm not gonna say one way or another because I cannot fact check that either way.
We need more information.
We would need more information to tell you who started it. Either way, there has been violence going around. Somebody drove a car into the mob. We don't know who was driving the car or what. Yeah, and somebody died. And now there has been a police helicopter crash near Charlottesville.
Are they going to go into martial law? Is that what it's called?
Well, they've declared a state of emergency, and 2 people died in a helicopter crash. So it's...
This is really confusing. Like, it's really complex.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's happening like right now. So that's Charlottesville, sort of, I guess.
Kind of. There's not really a lot that we can say other than someone died from a car and there's tiki torches, and don't take our statues away. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I have to wonder, had there not been counter protests, would there have been violence at all? And my gut, and probably the biased part of me, is saying no.
Well, it's not even biased to say that, because even if, just say, the original protests are the ones that escalated to violence, they wouldn't have escalated to violence if there weren't other protesters there. That's not to say that that escalation is right, but the violence is a consequence of two ideologies clashing.
Yeah, that's true. And it also is true that a lot of the original demonstrators are white nationalists, and some of them are KKK members as well. So that
is that actually confirmed, or
yes,
is that
no? That's true.
Okay.
And a lot of people are equating them having torches to terrorism. Having a torch,
yes, I saw that tweet. No,
is not terrorism. I'm sorry.
It's holding a tiki torch.
If they're white nationalists, I get it. But, condemn the violence that's actually happening, in my opinion.
Yeah, I saw you share that tweet where it's like, this is what terrorism actually looks like or something.
And I'm
it's
like,
just a bunch of guys holding tiki torches, and that's how I first found out something was happening, because I was like, what is happening here?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but some guys holding tiki torches is not terrorism. I'm not
it's
saying
a barbecue.
I'm not saying that I agree with white nationalism. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying let's be honest here.
It's not violence.
It's not violence. I haven't seen anything where they're breaking into cars or setting stuff on fire. So if you want to compare it to, say, some other riots where there haven't even been states of emergency declared.
Yeah.
Like I know somebody died from somebody running them over with a car. I get that. But the whole situation considered.
Yep. And also, even that car thing isn't necessarily a terrorist act, because it has to be, like, terrorism is very narrowly defined.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about what were they just mad? If you ram a bunch of people in a car just because you're angry, it's awful, but it's not terrorism.
Right. So this is a developing situation, and we will know more about it next week, because right now it's happening. Yes. So, stuff is going down. But anyway, that is that situation. I wish we had more information. Maybe we will address it next week. Like I said,
I wish it happened a day ago.
So we could know what actually happened instead of it happening right now.
Yeah, come on, people. Plan your violent riots, like, with a bit of consideration to us, for fuck's sake.
Exactly. Okay, so yeah, that's about that. Ooh. For that situation.
Okay, so did we want to talk about the model that got stolen?
Yeah, we did. We want to, that's what's next on the list. And this was an interesting situation as well.
Yep, so let me just, oh. So when I heard about this, I missed the stuffed in a suitcase part. That's awful.
Yeah, well, she got kidnapped, stuffed in a suitcase, but the current development, which makes it even weirder, is that she went shoe shopping while she was kidnapped.
Really?
With her kidnap? Yeah, and she admits that she went shoe shopping. So
I don't understand.
Right? Yeah, I know. So it's like,
I don't get it.
Yeah. So people are like, did this actually happen? And she's like, yeah, we went shoe shopping because that was like the best thing to do in this situation. And I'm just like,
That's weird.
yeah, it's very odd.
Like I know that people that have been kidnapped or whatever do often end up going back out in public, but there's usually they've usually been broken down to the point where they will go back, and like they've got like either Stockholm syndrome or they've been scared into complying. Because just say that I think there's one where like a woman was kept as a sex slave. She had multiple kids and she could leave the house because she'd always go back because the kids were there.
Yeah.
So, but a week isn't enough time to.
Yeah, she's saying that she was forced to go shopping, but
All you'd have to do is scream. There's no way her kidnappers would take her shopping.
not at that
There's no
point.
way.
It doesn't make sense
No.
at that point, no. So yeah, so that situation is a little weird. But there haven't been any more developments. So all we know is that she was supposedly kidnapped. She's okay.
Yeah, it was supposedly to sell her into the sex trade.
Yeah, but they let her go because they were like, "Oh, you're a mom. Never mind." And it's like, okay.
She's a mom.
Yeah.
Oh.
Apparently.
But,
so.
Sorry, I'm just looking at it. It's just weird. It's just that's just a bizarre.
Yeah, it's a very
story,
bizarre situation.
And,
for sure.
Yeah.
The next thing.
Okay, so North Korea
is North Korea.
What's happening?
I don't even know where to start. Okay, so North Korea is basically threatening to shoot a missile at Guam, whether it be an actual nuclear warhead or just a warning shot off the waters of Guam. Donald Trump said earlier in the week that he was going to respond to North Korea with fire and fury if they do something, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's basically just, honestly, right now the situation is that we're kind of waiting for North Korea to do something so that the U.S. will just blow them to smithereens. Because that's the only real outcome for this. Thank you, Alpha Omega. Love you too. Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
That is the only. That's the only outcome here, unless they just don't do anything. And that's kind of the odd thing about this situation, is that it's like, you know, it's just kind of waiting for them to do stuff.
Yeah, it's I love anything that ends up with Donald Trump quotes. Like, nobody loves a peaceful solution better than President Trump, I can tell you that. I just love how he speaks. Like, that was a quote from him. He refers to himself in the third person, so often. I think Trump should never not do speeches.
But the thing that I've been seeing is that people are saying things along the lines, like pundits and just people on Twitter are saying things along the lines of, he really shouldn't be engaging in this violent rhetoric that you're going to respond with fire and fury. Like, how else would you respond to a literal act of war if not with fire and fury?
No, because that help. No, you're supposed hugs and stuff. You're supposed to fight them with love. Well, that's what we're supposed to do with terrorists, so I'm guessing it's the same for North Korea.
I don't understand what they think.
Like, I just think it's really funny that they're kind of in a battle of wills between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump. Like,
yeah, and people
the
are
giant
acting,
man baby versus.
Well, and people are acting
Donald
like
Trump.
This is actually like a dick measuring contest, and it's really not, because he means it. If North Korea does anything, we're going to take out all of their military capability like that, and that's just going to be the end of it. So the idea that this is not a serious situation and that this is just two world leaders going back and forth, like, I know you are, but what am I? That's not the case. That's not what's happening.
On the surface it is, though, and it's great.
On the surface it is, but after, like, when you go like an inch deeper,
I don't. Yeah, it's not good, because more or less what North Korea has is a overgrown toddler in charge of everything.
yeah,
And I think, and yeah, like, China's not really doing sweet FA to scold their misbehaving spawn. So unfortunately, Donald Trump has to be that random. That metaphor is going way too far now.
yeah, right.
But Donald Trump has to. Donald Trump is more or less the only one in a, because there's only two countries that are in a position to sort their shit out. One's China, and they're not doing shit, and the other one's America, because they've got the world's largest military.
Yeah.
Like,
so yeah, I mean, like, they did put sanctions on North Korea, but a lot of this is due to those sanctions that they're now like retaliating. So that's the situation that we're in. And if I'm sorry, and so, you know, North Korea, if they do anything, they're going to be taken out, and China is not going to do anything to stop us from taking them out if North Korea does attack us, because what can they do? That's an act of war. And it seems like China's getting fed up with them, but they're not outright doing anything to stop them. So it's kind of just a waiting game to see what happens. At the end of the day, though, North Korea does not come out of this on top, especially not if they attack. So that's where we are with that situation.
It's honestly, North Korea is just a mess. It just needs to be nuked from orbit or something. Like, it needs to not exist.
Yeah, I would agree. But obviously we can't just
genocide a country.
Well, we could, but but it's inadvisable, I think, is how people would put it. So, yeah, we could, but we won't.
We shouldn't.
But what will end up happening if something happens, is that we will do a series of targeted strikes, and take out all of their military capabilities, and that's what will happen. So it's not, you know, we're not looking at like decimating North Korea itself, but we are looking at decimating their military capabilities, which
would be good.
Seems like the thing to do. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to add. Nothing's really happened in the past day, but that's where we're at with North Korea.
Fun.
Yeah.
So I think we're now up to minor news and Jake Paul again. Now, I am going to admit I have no idea what the hell Jake Paul has done this week.
Okay, so what happened with Jake Paul is that he put out a diss track, not a diss track thing, and the controversy came from the fact that he, like, the day before he put out this diss track, he went to see a girl from Make-A-Wish Foundation, and then he put her in this diss track talking about how great he is. And so people were freaking out because they're talking about the fact that he's not a very nice person and that he's using, you know, some terminally ill, like 6-year-old as a stunt. And it's like, yeah, right. And so that's like, oh, that sucks. That's pretty much all that happened.
Yeah,
really.
If you're gonna go, like, there are some people that that I think are really sweet, because they do go out of their way to meet like terminally ill children, band people, but they often don't brag about it.
Yeah, and he literally bragged about it the next day. So there's that.
That's scummy.
Yeah, I would agree that it's scummy, but that's what happened, and
Yeah.
that's what happened, and it was a big deal for a lot of people. So I thought that we would just cover it because it's shitty, and yeah. Anyway, so next up, I guess, is sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's some news from your little corner of the world.
Right. So in Atlanta, a gym put up a sign that said "No fucking cops," and they have a policy where they're not allowing in active service members for the military or police officers into the gym. And they want the people there to be able to work out in peace, and they also don't. He said specifically that they don't want people. That they don't want the police officers to get more ripped, so that they can then hurt people more effectively. So that was that.
Yeah. I just because this sign, the rules sign that says no fucking cops. It's also got another rule in front of it, which just amuses me. Do whatever the fuck you want correctly, except CrossFit cultism. It just sounds like it's just a bunch of pretentious twats running a gym.
Well, that's what it seems like. But of course, they caught a lot of flack for it, and they changed the sign to something less vulgar. But they still don't allow cops or active service members in the gym.
Is that legal?
Technically, yes, because cops are not a protected class.
Well, that's it. You know what? I hope they get no one do this, but I hope they get robbed, and then the cops are just like, sorry, we're not strong enough to find. We don't have the stamina.
Well, the cops, the Atlanta police force was asked for a statement, and they were like, if something happens, we will respond. And that was it. So it seems like the cops just don't give a fuck, which is fine.
Well, if gyms in America or anything like here, they're a dime a dozen. You throw a stone and there's a gym.
Oh yeah, no, there's a gym on every street corner. It's like we're not missing anything by not having your gym specifically. So everything's fine. But yeah, that's about it for that. Our dumbass of the week is a company instead of a person, and that is Google. And I'm sure that you guys know why it's Google. So if you are not up to snuff on the situation, there was a screed, a manifest, whatever the heck you want to call it, a thing on the on Google's internal stuff, and he was just saying that he's totally for diversity, and that women are super cooperative, and that we should be playing to people's strengths and not trying to force diversity onto people. And of course that was sexist and awful.
Sorry, one of the headlines on The Guardian, sorry, not the headline, that sub-headline thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's he was asked for suggesting that women were less suited to certain tech roles. Now, from memory, he never said women aren't as good at this job as men. It was just, we shouldn't hire people in these roles just because they're women. Is that right?
That's pretty much it. And then he even said stuff like women on the whole tend to be more cooperative, and we should play to that when we're setting up how people work and how they work together, which actually does make sense.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that he said that made sense. It was incredibly tame.
Yeah, from memory, it was very eloquently written, and it was very much just, can we please have a meritocracy?
Pretty much, yeah. He got fired for it. And then he also made the point that Google doesn't allow its employees to speak freely. And Google was like, we totally do, and we want to hear your opinion. Also, you're fired.
It's
Come again?
did they release, like, did he release the thing? Like, how did it get out?
I don't even know how it got out.
Because I can understand maybe if he released it himself.
I don't think that
depending on their employment contract, that could be grounds for firing.
I don't think
But
that
if
he did.
someone
Well,
else,
they specifically said that they fired him for perpetuating harmful gender stereotypes. That was the
really,
reason that they gave for firing him. So it wasn't like
there wasn't anything sexist. I haven't read the whole thing. I read half of it, but if it carries on in the exact same tone that it does for the first half, there's nothing sexist in it.
yeah, no, like yes. I don't know what else to add to that. Like you're correct.
Google is stupid.
Yeah. So that was really, really dumb of them. And I don't. And WikiLeaks offered him a job. If you're not caught up on that, when this goes over to the Bae Watch channel, the links to my video and Monkey's first video on this will be in the description if you want more info. But we decided that Google was the dumbass of the week, because it's such a stupid move to be like, we love diversity of thought. Also, sir, you're fired
for having diversity of thought.
Right. So
yeah.
Okay.
And so good mood food.
Yeah.
We've got 2 stories this week that make us happy. Did you want bikes or puppy?
You can go bikes.
Okay, so more or less there was an accident. A semi-truck crashed into a car. So it doesn't start off very happy, but a bunch of bikies rescued 10 people from the damage. There we go. That's the word I was thinking of. Yeah. And because apparently, like, there was like smoke and everything everywhere, and yeah, they, like there was fuel going everywhere. Like it looked like probably everyone could have potentially died if these guys didn't do what they did. But, and I love the photo in this article. They just look so happy. Like bikies, they look rough as hell, but they're often the biggest softies in the entire world. And bless them. Yeah, so it was a really sweet story. Yeah, and they saved a bunch of people. Amidst the helicopter crashes and Google, it's a nice little story. We also have one about a dog who found like a litter of kittens and basically adopted them, and it's adorable. He found a boy dog as well, which is more adorable. He found a box of abandoned kittens and decided to dad, which is just, it's the cutest. That's so cute. It is. So that oh god, these kittens are so cute as well. Like they're so cute. Yeah, it's super cute. I know. Sorry. It's okay. So that is it for news this week. Yes. But so, I guess we should talk about whether or not Australia is going to let the gays get married. Yeah, that is the big news down under. So. Yes. So what was announced this week was going on for fucking years, as I'm sure you can imagine. And they finally decided, no, we're actually going to do a plebiscite. Do you guys have, because we've got different like systems of government and stuff. Do you guys have plebiscites in America? I don't think we do. What is it? I'm gonna have to let me look it up and see. It's a non-binding vote that is not, because voting's mandatory in Australia. It's non-mandatory and it's non-binding, but it's more or less a giant poll. Thank you, Alpha Omega. Does anyone see this? Yes, we do see. We do see it. We sort of have them. So during election season, on the ballots, it'll ask you. It's sort of the same thing. It'll just ask you like what your stance is on this or what you want the party to focus on.
It's kind of stuff like that. So sometimes we have those little elections. Usually they're binding though.
Yeah, well,
Unless
that's the
it's
thing.
just a
Like,
poll.
yeah, well, more or less, what this is a very expensive poll, and yeah, so even if the majority of, let's be honest, if the majority, like if over 50% of people say no, they don't want it to happen, it won't, because of who's in government at the moment. Whereas if it comes back over 50% say yes, they do want it to be legalized, the government don't have to actually legalize it still. It's a
Yeah.
big poll.
Okay.
And it's going to be by mail. We're going to be sent out, I think, over the next month or so, and then we have a month to return the piece of paper saying yes or no. But yeah, there's the a lot of the LGBT rights activist groups and everything. They are very against the plebiscite because they think that it's going to create and foster a very harmful environment for gay people, because people are going to be actively campaigning against it.
Right.
And because, like, it's not legal here at the moment. So from your perspective, like, because I'm sure like, did Georgia go same-sex marriage when the Supreme Court said it, or was it
Yeah, we
legalized before
didn't
that?
do it before the Supreme Court said it. Obviously, once the Supreme Court said it, it was what it was.
Yeah.
Almost all the states had legalized it individually before the Supreme Court did it. And I wish that it had stayed that way.
Yeah.
But that's, alas, I don't always get what I want. And that was my issue with the Supreme Court doing it. I did support same-sex marriage. Yeah. I supported legalizing it at the time, and so did most people.
Well, that's the thing.
Most people were kind of at the point where they just didn't give a shit. They were like, I don't want to argue against it. I don't give a crap. Just legalize it. Who gives a crap?
Yeah, and like, I've heard the argument being made, and I don't know enough about it, so I'm not going to go too deep into philosophically discussing this. But I've heard arguments being made that, they're not actually fighting for equality, because multiple offers have been offered to them, like an equivalent, and whether or not, if you wanted to be constitutionally protected in Australia, well, we can add a homosexual marriage equivalent to the Constitution. But then also, proposals have been made to deregulate marriage, so it'd go back to how it was before Australia was even a country, where the churches had their thing, and then there was secular marriage and this and that, and they weren't all called marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was different institutions or lack of institutions performing it, and everything that's been put to them has just been nope, veto, because, and the way that they speak, a lot of people that are very prominent in promoting it, the way that they speak, it seems very much like they do want to just destroy the nuclear family, or at least have it be not the ideal family type, which it is.
Right.
And so that's where I'm conflicted, because, like, I've got gay friends, and I want them to be able to get married if they can, like, if they want to. But then I also see what has happened in America or other parts of the world after it's been legalized, where
well, it's never good enough just to, I mean, that's the thing that you need to know, is that it's never going to be good enough just to legalize it.
No.
That's like,
yeah. And
That's not the last hurdle for a lot of I mean, for a lot of gay people themselves, that is the last hurdle, but for a lot of activists, that's just them
it's
getting
not.
started.
Yeah, and it's really sad as well. Like I've seen, I can't remember what country it was in. I think it might have been one of the British countries. Um, but there was these two kids. They got taken off of their parents for whatever reason, and the parents wanted custody. The kid family was Catholic, and the state was just like, grandparents are too old, so we're sending the kids to be raised by a same-sex couple, like Catholic children, to be raised by a same-sex couple. And so that concerns me, and I'm very concerned about what the next step will be if it's legalized.
And why were they taken off the parents?
I can't remember. I was more focused on why can't the grandparents look after the kids,
Right.
or why
Yeah.
can't they be sent to live? Me in the chat, one of the British countries. Well, there's multiple countries in Britain. Okay, fuck you. But yeah, they should. If they're not going to be sent to the grandparents, they should at least be sent to a Catholic family because they're Catholic. Like, isn't that how it works with literally every other religion? If you're a Muslim kid, you get sent to a Muslim family. If you're an Aboriginal kid, like, it's a race, not a religion.
I really don't even. I don't know that America does that.
Well, yeah, America, I think, probably, maybe some states would, but then there's a lot of states in America that wouldn't do that.
Right.
But, like California, maybe would. But it leaves me concerned because it's like, well, what's going to happen after it's legalized?
Yeah. So what is like the general consensus among the populace anyway? Like how does the citizenry feel about it?
I think if people were like, apparently the majority support it, but I don't know how much of that majority is people that are saying yes or no, would you vote gay marriage in, yes or no? And they don't give a fuck, so they just say yes, so then that way they don't have to hear about it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because my guess is a lot of those people that feel that way probably won't vote. Because, again, this is one of the very few non-mandatory votes we have here. And, again, it's not binding, so if you don't care, like, either way, then you're probably not even going to care enough to fill out the form and post it back, because nothing's going to happen.
Are you going to vote? I'm not, if you don't want to say,
you don't have to, but I don't know yet, because, like I said, up until probably about a year ago, I was like hardcore. Well, not to activist level, but do you support same-sex marriage? Yes. But like I said, and I still support same-sex marriage. I just am concerned about what the activists are going to focus on next.
Yeah, like slippery meat slope.
Yeah.
Because, you know, first you have same-sex marriage, then you have 5-year-olds becoming women, and it's like, I don't know, it's like, where do you go from here?
Like, well, we've already got, like, in Victoria, Victoria is a very left-wing state, or at least around the capital is very left-wing. And maybe this one was in New South Wales. Regardless, Safe Schools is a program that's in Victoria, and I think it's been mostly banned in New South Wales because gender theory has been. Mm-hmm. But they're encouraging preschoolers to transition. Like a 4-year-old has been diagnosed with trans. Yeah. How the fuck does a 4-year-old know that they're trans? Like,
well, when you think about the things that a 4-year-old knows, like that they're expected to know, and then you think about, they also have a complex and nuanced understanding of gender identity. Are you sure? Like, What?
No, like there were times when I wanted to be a boy when I was younger, and that was because boys could pee standing up.
That's why I
And I
wanted
went
to be a
camping
boy
a lot.
too. I was so mad that I couldn't
Yeah.
pee standing up. I was like me and a couple of like friends, girls that I was friends with when I was like 5. I don't even remember their names, but we were all very upset because we found out the guys had a thing that let them pee standing up, and we were like, "What is this shit?"
I want that.
Yeah, we were like, "I want to be standing up too," but like, so what does that count as being transgender now? That is so dumb. Like kids do that. Kids go through phases like that where they're just like, I want to pee standing up.
Yeah.
I still kind of want to pee standing up, but I'm not transgender.
It's really honestly, there especially like this hasn't been an issue for a while because I've been, child carrying, but there's been multiple times where I've been really, really drunk and walking home and really needed to pee. Because I used to go to a pub that's right near my parents' house when I was still living there. And, it was only a 10-minute walk, but when you're drunk and really need to pee, that, 10 minutes is a really long time. And it's just like, I wish I had a penis right now.
Yeah, right? Like sometimes you're just like,
pee.
I just want a penis. Like just for 5 seconds, can I have a dick? That doesn't mean that you're transgender.
Detachable penis. That's what we want.
Right? I mean, I also think it would be super convenient to have like a rack of racks where like, because some outfits like look really good with big boobs. Some outfits you need to be like flat chested. So I think that we should just default come with a rack with racks.
A rack of racks.
You can be like, a rack of racks. So that you can be like, this shirt needs like a B cup. Like that would be so convenient. That would be so much easier. Because sometimes like fashion, you're like, I have a large chest and fashion doesn't give a shit, and fashion's like, yeah, fuck you. It would be nice to just be like, you know what, this season, small tits.
Yep, I completely understand. It really sucks when I see a shirt that I just absolutely love and I'm just like, I want that top, but I have boobs.
Right? Oh my god, that's so annoying. It's like, I'm just like, that top is so cute and it would look so cute on somebody who's flat-chested. Because like, I don't know if like it's the same for you guys, but like right now all these like flowy tops are in. Like these.
No, because we're in winter. It'll probably happen in a few months.
No, they're in for like winter too. They're like long sleeves and like flowy shit. And I'm like, all of that looks amazing.
But it would make me look like I was about 30 pounds heavier.
Boobs. Yeah. Because if you have boobs, it like something flowy. In case you guys don't know, and if you're probably all male, so you probably don't. But if you have boobs and it's like a flowy top, right? It's like your boobs come here, and so does the top. And because it's flowy, it just that's it, and it looks like crap.
That was the good thing about being 9 months pregnant, because my stomach would go went out further than my boobs, so I could wear that stuff. Because it would go black boob, and then it'd be like, oh, stomach, and then continue.
Yeah, that sounds way more convenient than having to deal with looking like you're about 50 pounds heavier than you actually are. But then the other thing is that like if you wear something tight, it's like all boob, and then like everything's loose everywhere else, and it's
that's why I often wear that's why I love this store where I get my like 50s style dresses from, because let's be honest, that those dresses are perfectly made for big boobs, tiny waist, big hips, which is what I got. So
yeah, same.
It's good, but unfortunately though, my boobs have gotten a bit bigger recently, so
can't imagine why.
I can't. So I can't wear them anymore because I bought them when I was like 5 cup sizes smaller.
Oh.
So,
it's okay.
I'm sad. have to wear like stretchy material.
That's like part of the reason why I'm always in a t-shirt, because I'm like, I can't be asked to find like a shirt that's gonna fit like my waist, my hips, and my boobs all at the same time.
Yeah. That's why belts are friends. Like the waist belt things.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Okay. How the hell did we get from gay marriage, publicized,
I don't know.
to boobs in fashion?
I think because we were saying that like we wish we had a penis, and then I was like, I wish we
That's
just
right.
had like
A rack.
of racks. That would be so. You know what? I really don't have. I don't have a large behind. My butt is like proportional, but I have. My hips are about as wide as my shoulders, and my waist is fairly tiny. So it's annoying. It's annoying because nothing fucking fits. Nothing fits ever,
Which sucks.
which is so irritating.
I know, but the good news is though is you'd look banging in a pencil skirt.
Yeah, that's like the good part. I'm like, heels and a pencil skirt, great, but trying to figure out what top to wear with it, fucking kill me. That's the only thing. It's like the skirt is fine. It's just, what do you wear with a skirt?
The blouse.
Yeah, and then I mean, I live like in Georgia, where it's hot, and you know how hot works. And blouses, even like short-sleeved ones, are ovens.
Yes. Yeah, I think from memory, I think where you live and where I live have very similar winter to summer temperature ranges.
Yeah, I think so too. Because our winters are not. Our winters are. I mean, I live in Georgia, so our winters are fairly mild. Like last year, I didn't wear pants once. It got
to definitely get colder then.
Well, but I won't wear pants unless it drops below 20 degrees Fahrenheit.
What's that in Celsius?
It's less than 0.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I will often be outside in like 2 degrees Celsius weather in a singlet and shorts because I overheat really easily.
Yeah, so do I. I'm just like, I'm like, I would rather be cold outside and comfortable inside than warm and comfortable outside and hot as fuck inside. Like that's where I'm at. So I'm like, what I do is I wear shorts, but I've got like these short, like cut off periwinkle Uggs. So
yeah,
I wear shorts, Uggs, and a t-shirt. Sometimes with a jacket. Most
You're welcome for the Ugg boots.
Yeah, no, but my Uggs are like my favorite.
Ugg boots are an Aussie thing, so you're welcome.
Yeah, it's like Ugg Australia. Yeah. No, my Uggs make me happy. I want like pink sparkly Uggs.
Ooh. Me too.
Because I have another.
Is that something that can exist?
Yeah, no, they have them. Yeah, I literally have like periwinkle blue Uggs. I'm not kidding. And I wear them.
Yeah, but sparkly ones?
Yeah, they have sparkly Uggs. Welcome to Bae Watch, everybody.
I want them.
Right? I want them too. I want them so bad. They're so cute. I have a couple of pairs.
Oh, and they have kid ones.
And it's okay. And I have a couple of pairs, but the ones that I wear them, I have a Falcon Millennial. No, Millennium Falcon. Falcon Millennial is a person that's always here. Screw me up. I have a Millennium Falcon pair of Uggs that I don't wear because they're white and I'm scared that I'm going to get them screwed up. And I have a pair of black ones, but the ones that I wear all the time are my blue ones because they're periwinkle. And like, how could I not wear periwinkle Uggs? So, yeah.
Oh, that makes me happy that pink sparkly Uggs are a thing.
Yeah, same. And like part of the reason why I wear shorts is so that I can wear Uggs. Because if I wear pants, which I don't, I don't wear
Me
pants.
neither.
I
And for
hate
British people,
pants.
pants are not underwear. Pants are trousers. That has caught me off. Like, I've been caught out on that so many times because I used to work with British people, and like, I'd make a joke about Pants Free Friday, and they're like, "Are you not wearing underwear?" I'm like, "No," but apparently British people call underwear pants.
That's weird. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Carry on.
Yeah. So, that's what I do in the winter, and normally because like they come out up to like about mid calf, and then like your shorts start like halfway down your thigh, so it's like half of my legs are exposed, which is usually like enough to get me from point A to point B without freezing to death. um Although like one day it was cold, but it was so windy, and I didn't account for how windy it was, and
I hate it when it's
I ended
windy.
up with wind burns all up and down my thighs, and it
Oh,
hurt like a bitch.
that's that's really bad. You got windburn on your legs.
Yeah, yeah, it sucked. I That also happened to me
How?
in New York, one year because we were walking around in New York, and I got windburn
You were
too.
walking around in New York.
It was March. I was in pants, and it was y'all. New York is cold in March. Just saying. You probably already know
Yeah,
that,
that's
but I
yeah.
underestimated it. So
The only time I really
oh, you're
feel the
breaking up.
cold is brings that bone chill. I think I think the stream's getting glitchy for me.
It's back to normal
Shoot.
now.
Wait, sorry. Like I'm only hearing snippets of what you're saying. Chat, is it me or SDA?
Is it normal now?
Wait, I think it's okay now.
Okay, because it got weird
Okay, there we go.
for me, and then it got weird for you, and I'm like, okay, we're all good.
Excuse you, chat.
Yeah. um.
There we go.
So it
Oh.
was, yeah, it was, it hurt, and I also get a lot of weird looks because in the winter I wear shorts with Uggs because, like I said, pants are the
Same.
worst. I hate them so much. And so like I have to take a science class with a lab, and I'm 3 years into college now, and the reason why I haven't taken a science class with a lab yet is because in a lab you have to wear pants, and I'm putting off wearing pants because I'm like, there's no good reason to do it, because if I do it in the fall semester, it's hot as fucking August. I mean, it is like deathly hot. But then if I do it in the spring semester, it's okay for like the first month. But then once we get into February, kind of out of February, it's hot again. And I'm like, I'm going to have to go out of state to comfortably go to a science class.
Go to Alaska.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I'm going to have to go to like Alaska.
The coldest state.
Yeah, to be comfortable. So that's like, I'm gonna have to just take one science class in Alaska so that I'm okay with wearing pants. And it's a biology lab where like we don't do chemicals. You don't use chemicals in a biology lab. So I shouldn't have to wear pants. I'm okay with it.
True.
But I don't think I should have to wear. Yeah, right? I'm like, then why? Why do I have to wear pants if like nothing? I'm like, I would rather get chemical burns than wear pants. I would rather risk getting chemical burns than wear pants. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Oh. Sorry. Fuck. What was I about to say? Yeah. One thing that always annoys me is in winter, right? Like, I'll generally wear a jacket. Like when I was working and stuff, I would generally wear a jacket to work. and then take it off when I got in. I'd be wearing like,
Mhm.
you know, sleeves like that or whatever.
Yeah.
And mind you, and this happened even when I wasn't pregnant, but when you're heavily pregnant, your body temperature, you're warmer than you were normally,
Mhm.
which for me is awful when it was hot, because I generally feel the heat pretty
Yeah, like
badly in general.
I'm like,
But
it's 60, it's hot
but
as shit, kill me.
yeah.
So,
And everyone would just be like, "Aren't you cold?" I'm like, "We're in a fucking temperature controlled building. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. It is the same temperature year round. I am
well, that's
boiling."
okay. That is why when I'm inside and I'm wearing shorts and Uggs and it's winter and people are like, "Aren't you cold?" I'm like,
I'm inside.
there's a heater. No, thank you, Thaka Millennial. You don't want chemical burns. I don't want chemical burns, but I would rather risk getting chemical burns than wearing pants. Also, if I drop 2 molar hydrochloric acid on myself, it's eating through my pants anyway. And they're gonna have to come off. So what? I'm not
You're,
gonna.
you're,
I'm not gonna.
you're just avoiding the risk of having material fused to your leg.
Yeah, I just want to be. I'm not gonna say that. I was like I would. I'd rather risk it. I would rather risk it than have to wear pants every day because I have one of two options: die from a heat stroke every day that I have that class, or or two, I have to take pants with me to school and change in and out of them.
SDA do the science class in Aussie uni, better weather.
It's not the weather.
Where? Where though, bastard? Sydney has the same weather as Atlanta.
Yeah, it's not.
Just in reverse.
It's
Oh,
not the weather
that's
that's
true.
the problem. And they're cold. They are freezing cold. I know. I get it. They're cold as crap. Um, in the labs. That's true. I'm still hot. I'm still hot in like a 60-degree lab. I'm sorry. I don't know. And Fact Millennial said I wear jeans on the tarmac in 105 Fahrenheit. Yeah,
Well, you know what? Your life sucks.
yeah, I feel bad for you because I would want to kill myself.
Wait, 105. I think that's in the mid 30s for us. Hey.
I'm just
Yeah, it would be.
like honestly, like I said, thank you, Cryptic. SDA just said she'd take off her pants. I have on shorts. Don't be gross. Um, so I just want everybody to know that pants are the devil. They are the real oppressors. You know, I actually kind of, so I don't know if you guys know this. I went to a private school where we had to wear a uniform, which was kind of nice because in public school you can't wear skirts like that look good, but in a private school uniform we could wear skirts, and I always wore skirts, so it was winter was never a problem because I could just always wear a skirt, and that was nice. And then I got into the real world where you have to wear fucking pants in a lab where you don't, where there's no chemicals.
Yeah.
I hate my life. But okay, like you want me to wear pants, but like I have to wear short sleeves? Really?
That doesn't make. I don't know why.
Well, because like stuff might get fused. SDA, would you rather wear pants or a super cute skirt but it's covered in mayo for a week? Skirt.
I'd go
I
naked.
hate pants.
I just wouldn't go home. I just wouldn't leave the house, but I'd just be naked for a week.
Yep. I would rather wear a mayo covered skirt for a week than pants. That's how much I hate pants. I hate pants more than mayo.
And I'm just gonna bust it for a minute.
Yeah, even with the mayo, I don't like pants. But we had a serious discussion topic, and that kind of didn't happen. But we did have a good fashion talk, and
Yes.
that's why I wanted to do this. So next, again, this will be up on this channel for about a week or so, or for about a day or so, and then thank you, Falcon Millennial. No, my life is fantastic. I got to fly backseat in an experimental fire bomber. By the way, uniforms fucking rule. I do miss ODUs. Yeah.
I don't know what an ODU is, but that actually kind of sounds fun.
Yeah, it does. It's just also pants. I'm like, fun things, pants. Fun things, pants. Pants are evil. But anyway, it'll be up on this channel for about a day or so, then it will be archived on the Bae Watch channel. Please make sure that you follow Bae Watch on Twitter and subscribe to the Bae Watch channel.
And check out our merch store because we have really, really cute t-shirts.
We do have really, really cute t-shirts. You can also get a t-shirt that says "My Bae is Best Bae."
Yes.
Which, why wouldn't you want a shirt that says that? We say that to each other all the time, which I'm sure if you've watched us for any period of time, you already know that. So, next week we will be on Mara's channel. Her link is down in the description. Go subscribe to her. And thank you guys so much for being a part of Bae Watch episode 3, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.